Hello, welcome to Wide Left Sports. Today I'm joined by Billings Scarlet baseball player and recent signee to St. Mary's University, Ollie Prill. Ollie, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing really good, really good. So, my first question is always kind of the same to everybody, but depending on the sport, obviously. But what gave you your love for baseball?
I would say probably my dad. I grew up, I played baseball when I was a little kid. Like probably three, I was throwing a baseball, and my dad got to be in the Legion program and, got the opportunity to be a walk-on at Notre Dame. And so I've always just looked up to him and wanted to play baseball.
Oh, that's so awesome. So, with your dad having been in the Legion program for the Red Side, and now you're playing for the Red Side, what does it mean to be that second generation player for the Scarlets?
It means everything. Growing up, just kind of him taking me to Scarlets games, getting to watch all the bigger kids play, and just kind of, him always being at practice just because he knows everything and like just about the program, knows Coach Hoost, and it's kind of cool.
That's really cool. So, you're fairly new to the Scarlets team. I know you're not new to the Legion program,
Yeah.
but this year was your first year and you kind of came on in the end. So, what
Mhm.
was it like to get your feet wet a little bit in the Scarlets program at the end of the year?
It was really fun. I've always known Adam, Coach Hoost, Coach Thompson, and it was super fun. I always knew like those guys were super fun outside of baseball. I've never had them coach me in a game, but then when it got to game time, it was pretty fun. It was a great experience, and I'm glad to be a part of them.
Oh, that's awesome. And so, another thing that's really cool about you and your cousin Paxton is obviously you guys are on the team together. So,
Yeah,
how cool is that to have that family connection with Paxton on the team?
it's awesome. I've grown up playing with him, and past 2 years I haven't been able to play with him, but now high school and Legion, just getting to play with him is super fun.
That's awesome. So, what are some highlights that you had this year from, Cardinals and, of course, the Scarlets?
Um, I would say probably my favorite thing is just getting to connect with everyone on the Cardinals. Some kids I didn't really get to hang out with, and that was pretty cool. And I ended up winning the All State, so that was pretty fun, I would say. And then for Scarlett's, just kind of getting in there, like you said, getting my feet wet, just kind of seeing how they roll and getting to build that bond with them.
That's so cool. So then, when during this whole thing did colleges kind of come and start talking to you? And then we'll get to it. But what ultimately made you choose St. Mary's?
Okay, yeah. I mean, I would say I had a good year in Central Cardinal Scarlets, and I ended up making the USA baseball team for the Northwest region. I think that was kind of where I definitely had a really good weekend, and that's kind of where I thought, hey, I've always dreamed of this. Yeah, I know how hard it was, but this could happen, and I didn't expect it to come this early, but yeah.
That's so awesome. So having it come this early, was it a little bit of a shock to you to be like, hey, I'm just getting started almost in my high school career and here's colleges wanting me and now it's kind of a done deal.
Yeah, it definitely came up quick, and but I'm glad it happened. It surprised me. Definitely didn't expect it going into the weekend of the camp of St. Mary's, but it was definitely a dream to just kind of be there. And yeah, I was excited.
That's so awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the high school season because Central had an awesome year winning that first state title for baseball. Um, that Central was there. So, what was that ride like? Getting to play with some of the kids that are on the Scarlets, obviously, but then
Yeah.
also getting to play with other kids that you're teammates with at Central or
Uh-huh.
classmates with at Central. Excuse me.
Yeah. It was awesome. I don't think anyone kind of expected us winning that state championship just because we're that A school, they definitely knew we had some people, had some guys, but it surprised us, but we also knew that we could do it. And I think just talking about like kind of playing with those guys, like those the Legion guys, the kids I go to high school with. I mean, all those guys that played baseball, I feel like we've all grew up playing baseball together, you know? So there's always been that kind of connection. But then those new guys, you just get to know them and get the experience to play with them and build your bond with them. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Then, the cool thing about this year, and I don't know if it'll always stay this way, but even though Central's an A team, you guys still played West, you
Mhm.
played Senior, and you played Skyview. So, what was it like to play against one, people that you play with on the Scarlets, but then two, the guys that are on the Royals,
Mhm.
but in high school?
Yeah. It definitely brought, speaking of like Royals versus Scarlets, just kind of them being separated kind of brought, Senior versus Central or Sky versus Central. Like they're all good programs, but it also brought that extra added, just like kick up about, um, can you still see me?
Yep.
Okay. Just kind of that kick up like that rivalry, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I mean, it was definitely fun playing them because I'm friends with some of the kids on Senior and Skyview. So you get on the field and you start getting a little chippy. But yeah, and then playing against your teammates, that was also really cool.
Oh, for sure. So then, with that, and I'm kind of going back to Legion a little bit with this question, but
Hmm.
when you got your chance there with the Scarlets at the end of the year, obviously you were there for one of the last, actually the last crosstown game for the year.
Hmm.
What was that experience like to be for that to be one of your first games as a Scarlet crosstown at dealer?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the perfect situation to come in there. You get I mean, it's definitely a quick start to it because you've got that rivalry, you've got especially being senior night too, so you get experience like everyone showing up and being a dealer. So that was really cool. It was a cool experience to be a part of, and I loved it. I love sitting in there and talking with the guys.
For sure. So then now going into this year, you're going to be one of the guys. You've obviously been through it a little bit. How do you expect your role to change now that you're not the new guy?
I know. I think everyone's kind of just that. Like everyone knows what they have to do. I mean, I think everyone's kind of been there for a while. We've got some new people, but I think just kind of being more in that leader position. Obviously, I haven't been there long enough. There's people that probably have a little higher say than me, but just kind of lead the team and lead by example.
Awesome. And you mentioned Costa Gusta a few times here, but just what does he mean to you, and what does it mean to you to be a part of that red side and have that scarlet across your chest when you're playing baseball?
It means everything. Coach Hoost has always kind of supported me ever since Little League, and and I mean, I feel like T-ball too. I've always seen him. Like I've always known him. Always been hitting in triple played. He actually was. I would do private lessons with him with hitting when I was in Little League and like travel ball. So, you know, I love him, and he's always helped me, and he's nothing but positive things to say about me, and I have nothing but positive things to say about him. And just kind of wearing that scarlet logo on my chest is kind of an honor because I don't know, it's just kind of the class that I feel like not only the Legion program has, but just the Scarlet program, Red Side program has.
I love that. And so now one of my final questions is I came across a picture of you when you were playing for Central and you had these neon green cleats on.
Yeah,
How cool. Well, one, what gave you the inspiration for just such loud cleats?
yeah,
But then, like, how cool did you feel walking out in those? Because I would imagine you felt pretty dang cool.
yeah. So, um, well, Central has a little rule. I mean, Coach Martinson put it out there, but I think most teams is that you have to have team colored cleats, like green, like you can do gray, white, black. I'm like, well, he didn't specify what green we're gonna go with. Okay, so I'm talking to my grandma and we're looking at these cleats and I'm like, oh, these things are cool. And she's like, oh my gosh, they're neon. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, they're pretty sweet. She thought they were awesome. And so she decided to get them for me because she thought one, they're really cool, and I think they're pretty cool. but also so she can see me on the field. So that's why she wanted me, so she could pick me out from everyone else. So I thought that was pretty cool, and yeah, it felt it felt great wearing them. They were comfortable. They were, yeah,
I love that, and I love that you wear them for her so that she can see it. I think that's just so cool.
yeah,
I love that. And so, I guess one of my other things is with this podcast, I really want to inspire the younger generation, the next Ollie Prill that wants to go on and play big D1 school or play at a big D1 school out of Billings, Montana. What advice do you have for them to get to that level?
I just think to never give up, and I always hold your character. I think baseball is a real mental sport, and kind of if you just have that like that calm and collective like personality about you, like hey, you strike out, hey, you go 0 for 3. You can. There's a reason to be mad, but and then there's so many games in the season. You're getting so many opportunities that just forget about it and have fun. And it's all about like just if you love it, then you should be all in at it.
I love that. I love that attitude, and I think that's great. Well, Ollie, I want to thank you so much for coming on. I
Yeah,
cannot
thank
wait
you.
for the spring. I'm
Hmm.
mad that there's a winter in between now and
Yeah,
then, but I guess we have to deal with that. And
yeah,
cannot wait to see you out on the baseball diamond for Central and for the Scarlets.
yeah. It's gonna be fun.
All right. Well, thank you so much and have a great
Yeah,
rest of your afternoon and night.
thank you. You too.